Today we'll be looking at day 1 of the mirror test. These are problems 1 through 18. Problem 1 says, a dentist made the scatter plot below to show the number of cavities her patients had as it relates to the number of times they flossed their teeth each week. Which of the following best describes the correlation for the data? Alright, so we can see on our graph that our correlation from left to right is falling. And this tells us that this is a negative correlation. A positive correlation from left to right would be going up. So it's not A. A non-linear correlation would make some type of pattern that is not a straight line. So it's not B. And no correlation would be just random scatter with no obvious trend or pattern. So D is not the correct answer either. Negative correlation means that from left to right, it trends downward, which it does in our graph. Number 2. What is the vertex of the graph of the quadratic function f of x equals x squared plus 6x plus 10? To do this problem, we're first going to type it into y equals on our calculator. So we're going to type this x squared plus 6x plus 10. And we're looking for the vertex of that graph. So we're going to look at the graph and we're going to see where our vertex lies. Now on our calculator we can count that it is at -3, 1, so that we know that H is the correct answer. But if we couldn't see exactly what it is, we could have hit second trace to bring up calculate. And we're going to calculate, in this case, the minimum, because we can see that we have a minimum point. This goes down to a lowest point. So left bound means we go to the left of that minimum point. Right bound means we go to the right of that minimum point. And then we hit enter one more time, and it shows us it is at -3, 1. Number 3. Which of the following graphs best represents a system of equations that has no solution? So we're looking for two lines that have no solution, and we know that a solution to a system of equations, specifically a system of lines, is where they cross. This is the solution for these two lines in answer choice D. But we're looking for one with no solution. So D is not the correct answer. Two lines that have no solution means we're looking for two lines that never touch, that have no intersection. Because remember, the solution to two lines is where they cross. So a system of two lines that has no solution are parallel lines. We're looking for parallel lines. And now we look at our answer choices. These are not parallel. They will eventually cross out here. These are not parallel because they will eventually cross out here. B, these are our parallel lines. These lines have the same slope. If we were to calculate it, we go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. So our slope is 5/2 in this line, and in this line as well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and over 2. They both have the slope of 5/2 because these two lines are parallel, which means they have no solution. 4. A family will travel 350 miles from their house in order to reach Dallas, Texas. Which inequality can be used to find all the possible values of t, the time it will take this family to reach Dallas in hours if they travel at an average speed of at least r miles per hour? Well, when we talk about miles per hour or driving distances in a car, a lot of times we will talk about this formula. Distance is equal to rate times time. And you'll talk about this in your math class, and you'll talk about this in your science class. This comes up a lot. Distance is equal to rate times time. But in this case, we're looking for all the possible values of t, and you'll notice all of our answer choices have t by themselves. So if we get t by itself, we're going to divide by the rate. So we end up with t equals the distance divided by the rate. And in this case, we know that t is going to be less than or equal to our distance over the rate. And our distance is 350. And our rate is r. We're told that right here. This is our final answer. The time is going to be less than or equal to 350 miles divided by the rate. This is answer choice H for number 4. Number 5. The graph below shows the relationship between the number of miles a car travels and the number of gallons of gasoline used. What does the slope of this graph represent? Whenever you're asked what does the slope of the graph represent, we're going to come up with slope in context of the problem. And we know that slope is rise over run. It's the change in y over the change in x. And it is y per x. So what we want are some of these values in context of our problem. Our x is the number of gallons of gasoline used, and our y is miles driven. So if we look at the change in y over the change in x, this is the change in miles over the change in gallons. And if we were going to say y per x, we would say miles for y per x, which is gallons, miles per gallon. So when we talk about the slope in this problem, we're talking about y per x. We are talking about miles per gallon for this car, and that's answer choice C. Number 6, the perimeter of a rectangle is 40 centimeters. The length of the rectangle can be represented by 2x plus 4, and its width can be represented by x plus 1. What are the dimensions of this rectangle in centimeters? Alright, so we're talking about a rectangle. We are told about a rectangle, but we are not given a picture, which we are going to draw a picture of. We are told the perimeter is 40, and we're told that its length is 2x plus 4, and its width is x plus 1. So our perimeter, the perimeter of a rectangle, is when we add up all the sides. This is 2x plus 4, which means this is 2x plus 4, which means this side is x plus 1. And if we add up all the sides, 2x plus 4 plus x plus 1 plus 2x plus 4 plus x plus 1. We're adding up all the sides. It's going to give us our perimeter, which we are told is 40. So all of this is equal to 40. Now we can combine like terms. 2x plus x is 5x, plus 2x is 7x, plus x now we can add up our like terms. 2x plus x is 3x, plus 2x is 5x, plus x is 6x. 4 plus 1 is 5, plus 4 is 9, plus 1 is 10. So 6x plus 10 is equal to 40. Alright, now we're going to subtract 10 from both sides, because we're trying to get x by itself. We end up with 6x is equal to 40 minus 10, which is 30. We're going to divide by 6. And we end up with x is equal to 5. Now they did not ask us for the value of x. They asked us what are the dimensions of our rectangle. Well, the top dimension, the length, is 2x plus 4. So 2 times 5 plus 4. 2 times 5 is 10, plus 4 is 14. So our length is 14. Now x plus 1. So 5 plus 1, which is 6. The dimensions of our rectangle are 14 and 6. That's answer choice G.